Welcome back, lady lads and gentle lads, to another episode of the Sunless Skies playthrough. Or read-through. In the previous episode, we took a bit of a spin around the eastern edge of the map, and I think this time around we will head towards the western edge in order to find what we may find. Although a part of me... Yes, I think we should be going down to Titania, however, because, first and foremost, we do have someone to deliver there. Yes, a settler. And west-northwest of New Winchester is Readthrough, which I still have not found. Although if we take a look at the map, I have a weird feeling it's going to be somewhere in this nook. But I think the first thing we will do is head down to Titania, maybe bounce back north. Bounce back north if we can get past these here, and then try scoping it out again. Although I would still like to explore the west at some point. But I'll save that for another time, I think. As mentioned in the channel update video, by the way, if I end up dying one more time, I am going to be turning down the difficulty settings, turning off Iron Man, and trying to provide you with the true read-through experience, rather than having to deal with me being bad at combat. Additionally, it would be nice to hear some feedback from the viewers about how things are going so far. Making the content as a shot in the dark without any form of audience interaction does get a bit lonely at times. Although I suppose that's somewhat opposite, given the kind of game we're playing. One about loneliness in the depths of the cold sky. Where we chug along performing largely menial tasks, it would seem. Part of me thinks that live streaming this would also be much better than just trying to do a YouTube playthrough, but there are people that end up watching it. You are out there, you just don't communicate very much. Likely I should also be trying to cut these videos down a bunch. But then I run into weird situations like this where I come across a homestead and leave swiftly because the strangers are trying to shoot us. Though we do reduce our terror as a result. I guess it is the right choice to leave well enough alone. Although, what is that shiny glimmery thing I just witnessed? Ah, a rock full of unseasoned hours. Glad I caught that before moving on. Yes, it'll certainly give us something to do by the time we find some sort of... oh, what are they called again? What are these? Opportunities, that's what. Yes. And still we search for the well. God, it would be nice to find this place, so I can continue the Chief Engineer's storyline. But no matter. I'm going to turn off my light right here, because I was expecting these bees. I'll try to keep them at the edge of my vision, see how they, behave. So far they have not spotted us. And we are on approach for the port. Good things, good things. That went rather smoothly, actually. While we're here, we might as well check out the Porphyry font. Do we donate stories? Nope, we do not. An art exhibition can be attended. And it reduces our terror for free, so it's fine. A port report we shall gather. And we will drop off this settler. They have arrived at their destination. Whether or not they still wish to be here is another matter entirely. Encourage the passenger to disembark. You've made good time. They should reward us well. A breeze wafts through the sweet perfumes of wildflowers in your direction. Lovers race by in various states of undress. A giggling nudist capers after them. The settler pauses before disembarking. He goes to speak, but thinks better of it. He pays you and is off. We get 150 sovereigns, and gain 100 experience. Now, nothing new in Oberon's Landing. Perhaps... Ooh. Oh no, wait, this is where I have to sell the stained glass. And they're called prospects, not opportunities. The jumbles of souls don't interest us yet. Dare we stock up on more fuel? I think we ought to. Before setting off again. And this time, we shall carefully explore the edges of this little area. I do hear more bees. And I hope to... Nope. I cannot slip past them. Not this way. In that case, where might a man slip past? Yes. Ooh. Nope. We avoid the bees. I think I will make a pass through this gap in between them. Oh. I fear they may have spotted us. Yes. That does sound like the sounds of spotting. Ah, bugger. Never mind, I guess I'm fighting bees. Or if they're content to leave me alone, I guess I'm going to leave then. Okay. Now then. My gosh, Titania is a nuisance. A true nuisance indeed. Well, we can try heading southwards, I guess. Going east seems like a bit of a waste at this point. I'll try to find the well along the southern ends of the map. Perhaps it will lead us somewhere worthwhile. That said, I am now wary of the marauders, which I know to be here. It's all about hugging the edges right now. Yes, indeed, they have made an encampment here, though I have yet to find where that encampment is. Perhaps there. Uh-oh. Let us avoid him by this means. Yes. What a strange place, this Hakinsmere. Or Hakinsmere. Okay. Let us turn the light back on again while we may. And we tread carefully, given that we do not know where pirates may be found. And there's something that I need to butcher here, but I do not have the tools necessary. Blask, he's noticed us. And we pass the Parsifal yet again. And this sod does not care to leave us alone. Well then. Do we nab him? Very good. Okay. A sky story or a tale of terror in the captain's logs, or perhaps we gain some hull. Yes. The hull is indeed more useful to us. And the Parsifal continues to float mute in the void. And lo and behold, we come across some bronzewood. Indeed a nice little treat for us. Now if only we can return to base with it, and stock it in the bank. And we continue to uncover more of the deep, dark depths of this map. The southern quarter so far looks fairly barren. I do hope we find the well in these parts. I mean, we were to head south. And the only other place is to potentially pass through here and into this area. Yet another place full of marauders, from what I remember. But, given the change in art style here, we found Forsyth's font. And where there's waterfalls, one might think there is a well. As well as some more bronzewood. Or, no, not bronzewood. Chorister nectar. The repentant devil listens to the bees. They sing of a well and the unpleasant fate of the one who gave them voices. How strange. We find the regent's tears and a wonder as well as more chorister honey, although we are also discovered by bees. I'm curious as to which way they're going to try going. Ouch. Okay. If If they go about that way, I shall go about this way. Okay, I hear more bees in this area. So I think it is about time that I move on perhaps this side. And no, still nothing of the well. Our crewmen sing of it. The devil speaks of it. And the bees, they buzz of it, I guess. But so far we have yet to find it. Oh, no. Canton Carry be gone. Ah, dang it. Please tell me I can get some more hull back. Okay. We shall listen to its last complaint to gain some sky story. Okay. 2 shots. 2 shots was all it took. And we can try prying precious stones. Or maybe we go for another uncanny specimen. Sovereigns seem to be the safer bet. After all, our iron skill is high enough. Okay, let's turn on the light again. Perhaps we ought to invest in a second gun again, although I really don't want to. And what is this interesting nook? We are also running low on supplies, so I think I ought to explore this nook. And the scout does return. Ah, there's a port. But first, I will check out whatever curiosities there are to find here. Perhaps there will be supplies. Of course it would be a pirate. Ah, no, please. We can't die here. We just nearly got to a port. Oh, fantastic. He smashes himself on the rocks. Okay. Please give me hull points. Random treasures it is. Ooh, 2 jumbles of undistinguished souls, one of which we must jettison. Okay. Off to the port we go. And supplies and fuel still seem to be lasting us for the time. Our heart nearly got stuck in my throat. Why do I switch between this hour and my? Why would you name a wood after a traitor? Sewer, maybe. And we seem to have indeed found the traitor's wood. Somerset Camp. Well now. First, let us check the bazaar. And here we can find some verdant seeds. But maybe we can sell something. Though we cannot, actually. We can buy bronzewood, but we will not. But we will keep this place in mind, because we do need to come here for seeds later. No matter. The Forest's Edge. Traitor's Wood is a sprawling, secluded forest on the edge of the Reach. Few venture beneath its gloomy boughs, and legend speaks of a king who sleeps under the barrow at the wood's heart. The Wood's Edge. The wood is vast as a felled giant and fathomless as a great ocean. Like the ocean, much of it is hidden from view. Careful expeditions are required to go deeper into the wood. The forest is rich and wild in the verdant species of the Reach. Exploring the starlight-dappled edges of the wood could be profitable. I can only perform one of these actions per fortnight. The wood guards its secrets. Unfortunately, we do not have room in our hold for anything more. So we won't be taking this. A campfire. 3 figures draped in scholars' robes huddle around a campfire. They are arguing about kings. A banner in the colors of Somerset, London University's most respectable college, gleams in the firelight. As you approach, the discussion dies. One of the scholars, a woman with a fierce expression, stands up. Only scholars should be here. Are you one? If I only had more affiliation academe. No, I am not. Perhaps a gift would persuade them to let us enter. They look wretched camped out here, but supplies are precious, so again I return to the forest's edge. What about an expedition into the woods deep? Somerset College has, until recently, funded these expeditions into the forest. Those who return speak of the voices on the wind, of murmurs in uninhabited groves. But I will need supplies and fuel in order to do such a thing. If I have begun preparations, I will need to embark on an expedition to regain any crew who have been converted into crew in the wood. Interesting. And the parting glade. The forest rises behind the station where a few tents have been set up. What might be an owl's call from somewhere in the wood? In the far distance, a great stone barrow rises over the trees. The glade, an oasis of wildflowers and sweet meadow field, sweet meadow field? In the midst of the brooding trees, is where captains meet to do business and bring their ventures to the wood to conclusion. Let us write a port report. I was wondering where this was. There's no one here, but perhaps someone will take an interest in how the wood fares. Outside of the Somerset camp, the great forest of bronzewood trees has gone untouched by human hands. Voices sound in the depths of the wood, forlorn and far away. The wood is vast and vastly lonely. Let us explore the glade, and learn to speak English. Birds trill in nearby trees, and the sweet scent of flowers pervades the air. There is no one else here at present, but there are signs of recent passage. A discarded set of cups from some clandestine picnic, loose paper, hastily torn from a notebook, and a few bullets in scorched grass. Some people come to the glade to conduct meetings as neutral ground, and as a place to think, secluded from the watchful gaze of the high wilderness. Let us approach the tents. A group of sad-looking tents huddle together on the edge of the wood. Figures sit around a campfire, bickering. You move through the damp of the wood, the ground beneath your feet slick with fresh fallen rain. The figures round the campfire do not seem to have heard you, engrossed entirely in their argument. It is just the scholars. No matter. I guess we're honestly done here. Just a quick look at the map. We have a fairly straight shot, it seems, to Port Avon. And indeed, that does seem like the likeliest option for us. Though it would be preferable to come about this way, I think. And I will keep the light off. Our terror is not too high. But our fear of marauders is. Yeah, so long as we get ourselves out of here rapidly enough and gain to pick up some more bronze wood along the way, I think we'll be pretty fine, all things considered. We just need a bit of a quiet passage through. Preferably undisturbed by marauders, pirates, and brigands. Whew, and so far the journey is cozy enough. I guess the next thing to worry about in these parts is canton carries, but I think we will get along just fine. And we will reverse into port just to have an easier exit strategy. And yes, let us explore, write the port report, as per usual. Then we shall return to a quiet day in Port Avon. We could buy cheap fuel at the engine yard. 2 fuel for 20 sovereigns. Tempting. But cheap repairs would be much better. In fact, we go up to full. Brilliant, as a matter of fact. The village green perhaps has something for us, like a relaxing stroll or a cricket match, but perhaps not. The Nowhere Inn has an amount of cider I could appreciate for 2 sovereigns. Made from real apples from the world you left behind. Careful now, a local warns you placidly, and we fail. Oh dear. It tastes of golden sun in the fields left behind. Another. You must have another. The second tastes even better. The third. Well, you don't remember the third one very well. Perhaps in addition there was a fourth and a fifth. You awake beneath one of the trees in the orchard, its hard bark against your cheek. You dimly remember singing something inappropriate, and dark looks from the other patrons. Perhaps you remember climbing on a table, but to what end? Goodness, the stars are very bright, aren't they? Very bright indeed. Like bright little needles. Ouch. Well, we've lost what meager terror we had, as well as 8 sovereigns as opposed to just the 2. We are likewise wearing out our welcome. Perhaps we'll take on some speculative fiction. We've already read The Eyes of Heaven, how about Bones in the Well? Being a macabre tale of one's soul's descent into solitude and madness. On the third day it rained. The sky was a grey, drizzly circle in the well's mouth, far above. The rubble underfoot darkened, then swam with mud. Perhaps he would drown today, Joseph thought. A slow way to die, he remarked to the skeleton that shared the well with him. Raindrops tip-tapped on his skull. The skeleton was a good listener. Joseph had already shared all his secrets with it. All that is except one. Now holding on to that last secret seemed pointless. After all, he was likely to drown before dinner time. He cleared his throat. It was I who pushed you, he confessed. Interesting. And while we're here, let us try heading upstairs, where thick cigar smoke curls through the air, filling this private chamber with premium-grade fog. Bloated gentlemen in well-worn military uniforms sit at mahogany tables, sipping port. They chunter of the old days and how very much better they were. Request membership to the club. It was a famous club in old London, home to not just nobles and distinguished soldiers, but ex-ministers, royal courtiers, and other members of high society. A stout veteran gives you a polite once-over. I suppose we could countenance an application. Of course, membership is not a matter of mere money, no. He directs your attention to the trophies. Most are old and musty. Neath creatures, deer, foxes, and a bear, all hunted in the member's now long-distant youth. Perhaps if you could help decorate our walls with some impressive local fauna, we can talk matters of first payment and then membership. Of course, we could hunt the beasties ourselves, and we will. By thunder, we will. But the fire is so warm, and there is port left in the bottle. The new Somerset Hunting Club has requested I gather trophies for their walls. I need a Canton-Carry trophy, a Chorister trophy, and a Scrive Spinster trophy. Well, I could not have picked them up before, unfortunately. And last of all, let us check the Cyclopean ruins, which we do not have a good chance of doing anything in, so we won't. Quick check at the bazaar, where there are more verdant seeds. I guess I'll return here after a stop back in New Winchester. Now that we are full on health, we shall continue ambling up northeast. Indeed, this was a fruitful journey, oddly enough. Not as fruitful as I would have liked it to be, mind, but fruitful enough. I still haven't a bloody clue where the well is. It lies to the south of New Winchester. Oh well. We continue to learn nothing about that particular destination. And I think while we have the food and supplies, I will round this bend, just for the sake of its exploration, and then head into the company house. Indeed, that is where I shall head into the company house. Passing by Young's Found, we wonder why the searchlight, or the light from the lighthouse, does not spin all the way around. Perhaps it warns travelers not to venture into these parts. A possibility, to be certain. Hmm. And, well, I guess it was worthwhile to come here. We discover Hodge's Crucible. Largely, it benefits us with experience, but no more. Hmm. So much for my ventures towards this space. And the Long Knuckle Pass, I can't believe I didn't discover these places before. Although it's somewhat understandable. I guess I had to come or approach from this direction. And now that we are close to home, that familiar, comforting song once again plays. As I do my best to avoid channeling my inner Christopher Walken. Brilliant. We dock, we deliver, and gain 300 sovereigns. But our fortunes bid ever onwards. Indeed, we have a date with a bank in New Winchester. Why I'm drunkenly ambling about the sky right now is beyond me. So, inquiring into this is not going to yield any worthwhile answers. Well, locomotive repairs are no longer necessary. Likewise, crew. Inquiring about the Winchester War. What does it tell us of the current political situation? Nothing of note from what I've seen so far. I guess we'll claim this prospect for nostalgic crockery for Port Avon. Now we just need to find where to purchase nostalgic crockery. And while we are here, yes, Victoria's Market, where we shall sell perhaps a jumble of undistinguished souls, although no, first the bank, where we'll drop off the hours and the bronzewood and the nectar. Oh dear, the nectar. Oh, we'll put it away. Prospects pay out way better for these. And with that, I am of a mind to purchase some bronzewood shielding. Indeed, that will be very, very necessary for us. Ah. Does this take a bridge slot? It does. It gives us a bonus of additional quarters, but I don't think I really like that. We could also shell out for a Cotterell and Hearthsage, or Hathersage emanation. A locomotive-mounted blunderbuss. Indeed, that can come in handy. Yes, but the drill bit must stay. Indeed it must. +4 to hold. Very interesting. Oh, no matter. I think I've bumbled about that place for long enough. Nothing else really to take on here. Yes. Just a quick hop on down to Port Avon again, because they have seeds, and I have a contract I wish to fulfill. I am too hasty. I nearly left without fuel and food. My, how embarrassing it would have been to starve and scupper myself out in the Reach. After coming this far, no less. So. That should be sufficient. Indeed, our ends take us again to Port Avon, followed by Magdalene's. Although a part of me wants to hit up the Somerset camp again. Well, the Somerset camp may indeed be a worthwhile place to go. I'm also half tempted to just start using speed strats for locomotive movement. Because my gosh, is it a lazy affair to have to trundle the normal way across the Reach. Ah yes, but maybe I should just, you know, calm myself. And how... Ah! I understand. All that did is give me 10 additional points of hull. I understand now. I'm not averse, again, to this whole affair. I was briefly worried. Oh no. No bum baskets. I am one sovereign shy. I'm going to sell a crate of food in order to do this. I feel a bit dirty. Well, more than a bit dirty, I feel quite dirty about this. I knew I should have sold those souls. And after all, what else is a soul for? This does cut our journey time down considerably. But we'll live, and we'll manage. I will explore some of the West, as I think that is a worthwhile thing for me to be doing. Our feathered scout reports nothing. I wonder if he has a name. Maybe I should check if he has a name. All it does is hoot scornfully at our suggestions. I wonder if we'll find some sort of wintry port somewhere in this area. Fortuna does favor the bold, they say. It also supposedly favors people who send out owls. And lo and behold, our owl does in fact spot something. And I forgot to pick up the port report. Oh, I'm so stupid. Mother said illness is all in the mind. She'd fit right in here. What have we found? An asylum of sorts, it would seem. Carillon. Do we have business in Carillon? Perhaps we do. First, we'll check out the bazaar. And it is here that we can find munitions to pack. And in Grimoires, there is chorister nectar to be bought, as well as supplies. But above all, there are stories in Carillon Center. This peaceful Carmine institution was founded by devils from London and dedicated to the betterment of the soul. Botheridge's A Tour of Heaven describes it as a cross between a spa, a sanatorium, and purgatory. She commends its bracing airs. Let us enter the foyer. Gray stone, the color of a monastery. Attending devils and devilisses dressed in uniform, and an incoming parade of the sick, the friendless, and the dying. And those who think their lives would be better, if only they were something else. This is Carillon, where souls are refined into something more impressive. Let us then speak to this presiding deviless. She is an artisan of souls. Perhaps she can do something with yours. Perhaps she'll just offer you advice. The presiding deviless works in an office shaped like a beehive, a stone and wickerwork building that stands all alone in the middle of Carillon's central courtyard. She conducts intake interviews with new patients, one by one. After a long time in line, you reach her at last. Greetings, sir. How may we stretch, strain, purify, and strengthen you? Now you've come to Carillon. How indeed. Her her apron is starched, her dress pinstriped. There is a stack of patient files on her desk, color-coded. The corners of her mouth say she knows something to your disadvantage. Provide an exquisite insight. We need a lot of penances in order to unlock this. Either way, let us ask her about Carillon. She must be used to explaining, to newcomers and to those whose memories are attenuated by pain. We do whatever is necessary to reclaim unsatisfactory souls, she says. She sits back in her chair, and you can imagine her making just such a pitch to the princes of hell. For humans, primarily, though we do attend to a few other creatures, elsewhere on the great chain. They come to us with souls that are stained, disused, in every kind of sordid condition, and we make them acceptable again. Most of those who come to us are volunteers. The rest are beyond the position of being able to volunteer, consigned to Carillon by their families or employers. And after a stay at Carillon, what then? One should not enter if one does not know how to leave. Most people go home again, she says. Some find that they are wary of their souls and pass them on to us. We operate on that slender profit, and what we can get from donations or from sales of penance and forgiveness. She looks at the blank page before her. What about you? You look sturdy enough to make full use of our services. Are you afraid of needles? What is your view of worms? Which do you fear more, venoms or poisons? She takes down a page or two on all of your least favorite things. Well, let us listen to her proposal and gain access to the terraces of Carillon. She is prepared to offer a deal, as most devils are, and devilisses. Listen, she says. You are free to make use of Carillon. Take a penance, or two, alter your soul, I think you'll find our services very imaginative. There is another matter I hope you will look into. A devil in rose-colored gloves. He used to supervise the Gaslight Terrace. He was removed from that position, but I fear he may still not be entirely aligned with the objectives of Carillon. If you find out anything about him, anything to his disadvantage, she looks grim. Bring me the evidence and I will reward you. Guess we have nothing to do but to return to the center of Carillon. Farewell. Come back if you have any other questions, says the Devilish. She has already opened the next file on her desk. I guess a port report is in order. The penitents come from all corners of the high wilderness. Some will want to hear of their comings and goings. You take some notes on a pilgrim's journey through Carillon. The first port of call is the beehive-shaped office in the center, or more accurately, the long queue leading to it. From there, the infernal attendants direct them to one of Carillon's 7 gardens to undergo penances. They certainly look penitent by the time they emerge. Presumably, their souls are much improved. Not that you can tell. Let us take some travel then around Carillon. It is broken into terraces where most of the soul treatments take place. Some are easy, let me try that again. Some are easier to access than others. The Gaslight Terrace, let us visit it. Dozens of newcomers walk in that direction. It must be a safe choice. A penance of enlightenment can be gained here. Your companions are a lady in a buttoned cloak and a young male student. They talk among themselves about the seasonable warmth, and about how the yellowish glow of the lamps does not show blue silk to best effect. Their words are commonplace, their hands folded and gloved. Their opinions supplied by a respectable gazette. You have almost forgotten them, even while you are still walking together. The path descends by shallow steps to a broad terrace as crowded as an imperial exhibition. Gaslight lampposts are scattered irregularly across a flagstone terrace. Between them are stations, each containing a penitent or a patient receiving a treatment. The supervising devils tend these stations, stopping first here and then there like bees at flowers. There's lots of stories to go through. We could gain a penance of enlightenment if we are so chancy. 50%, why not? Vision, imagination, the ability to see beyond the nearest convention. That's what the devils are trying to evoke here. But we fail. A dissolute and bored-looking young woman falls asleep at burlesques. For the penitent's own good, she is receiving the application of a 7th toe. As for your punishment, it does not bear speaking of. You do not have the stamina to wait it out, and we gain terror. Oh, one more time. And this time we succeed. A penance paid. A corset maker was born with a gift for verse, but stoutly ignored the ability. Until she overcomes these flaws, she has been required to perform an amateur bagpipe recital in the presence of infamous critics. Do you feel any more interesting now? Asks the supervising devil. As for your punishment, it does not bear speaking of again. The experience leaves my throat parched. I guess we could try to cure a lightless soul. But maybe I'll save these sorts of stories for later on. First and foremost, let us approach the spineless curate. He sits in stocks attended on by a devilish orderly. His eyes beseech us to visit him. We step closer. I've seen something, he says, in this light. It's not hard to see things. A devilish orderly jabs the curate with a needle. At the sight of the jab, the curate's skin goes lavender. I'm being treated for not believing in God. I've tried everything. Prayer, fasting, long weekends with a professional saint. None of it worked. My sermons were suffering. My bishop complained. And has it helped? I have dreams of snakes and angels, he says. It hasn't made me a mystic, and I don't think the devils are real either. Just men with funny eyes, aren't they? The devilish orderly smiles with extra teeth. Ugh. I guess we can leave him to his penance, honestly. He's a long way from being cured of his lack of godliness, for lack of a better word. No matter. Let us return to the center. You brush past a matron in gray boots, a trained conductor in his uniform, and a young boy who has already adopted an expression of fixed ennui. None of them notices you passing by. None shows any interest in your breaking this convention. I guess we can continue on with these, but no, I'll save them for another time. Let's not go through all the stories. I need to somehow pad this out to have something at least to talk about. And besides, we do have an attendance to meet at Magdalene's. Oh Christ, it was Magdalene's, I hope. Let's not abandon the prospect. Good. Ah. This only leads us further into the depths of the West. Now that that's been taken care of, however, I think we are fine to continue on. Indeed, Magdalene's does beckon. Likewise, the owl shall remain comfortable in his roost. Though I will again take the time to do some exploration. It is most fitting of us to do so, I think. Uncover as much of the map as possible so that we know where to and where not to go in future. Make our passages through here a bit easier. And indeed, we come upon Schwarz's Oath. An interesting birth. A Tackety scout as well. Oh, the drunk little bugger. Do stop following me. I must say I am quite afraid of your maneuvers. They do not inspire the slightest confidence. And what do we find here? Ice-clad ruins. Glaring sigils emblazoned on the stones, and what is that thing? No doubt these are the Scriveners. After all, I've only noticed the 3 types of creature enemies so far. And I cannot say I am of a mind to tangle with them. Not yet, anyway. Even if a Tackety is presently engaging one. Which would make our own life dramatically easier in that respect. Oh, bollocks. No matter. Looks like we're in an archery duel. Ah, we got hit by one. Thank you, little buggers. That was terrifying. Why? I'd appreciate it if this thing would fall. Thank you. Kudos to the Takati for helping out. And God, what is this mess of paper? The splintered remains of the spinster turn slowly. The skies are full of fluttering paper. It is as if someone brought confetti to a funeral. Well, we're here to collect a trophy. So let us do just that. The crew set about the creature with hacksaws while the quartermaster prepares a board. Once the entrails are dried, they nail it firmly there. The hunting club will no doubt wish to replace it with something in mahogany or bronzewood once you deliver it, but this will do for the moment. I guess that's that. Matter well in hand. I didn't lose too much. But my terror did spike quite dramatically. What a terrifying enemy, has both a close range and a long range attack. Truly dastardly it is. The Canton carries are chargers, and the chorister bees are likewise chargers, I guess. I'm quite glad of the other two being easy to take down. I don't much like the Scriveners. They scream at you funny. And I don't like funny screaming. It is less than kosher. Oh, no matter. Oh. Oh, fine. We will take on a Canton carry. Okay. So long as I can get both of those to land, it's fine. And another hunting trophy. Yep. Same old text blurb. Then we pass on into Magdalene's, where I think we will call the episode. Finish off a few things at the House of Small Comforts, but first the Bazaar, which has the seeds which I promised to deliver forever ago. As well as an additional 100 sovereigns, on top of what it is I already sold. And some experience. And... ooh... literature. Literature we shall purchase quite readily. In fact, we are so taken with this that I'm just going to purchase the nothing. That is all. A moment in the Chamber of Small Comfort, or the House of Small Comfort, rather. Nothing on the keepsake market, unfortunately, for us. Do we treat our terror here? Nah. I think we can do without for the time being. Writing a port report, that is very crucial for us. especially given how we missed out on a free 100 sovereigns earlier on. Quick chat with patients being discharged. Some leave smiling, others weeping. No one can resist looking back behind them, even for just a peek. Oh well. But it seems the amenable host has some more tasks for us. Another request. He is melancholy today, not to mention irritable. He has another job for us, his voice rich with unhappiness. Discretion always. I admired your discretion earlier, he sighs. You have seen the dangers of our work upon those who abuse our service, yet we are not immune to it ourselves. He draws your attention to several paintings on the walls. My regulars have at various points requested that I be a prospector on Lustrum, heir to a fine house in Port Prosper, and a titan of industry on New Winchester. Very specific requests, and more. I have vivid memories of being all three, yet all cannot be true, surely. He presses a locket into your hand. This bears my image. See if anyone remembers me. I can't remember who I was before this. If I could be other than I am, I'd like to know. I guess Port Prosper is our next stop, as well as Lustrum. A very interesting task set for us, though one which will have to wait until, honestly, I arrive back in New Winchester, I think. Yes. Back in New Winchester. A part of me thinks I should set about my journey now. And in fact, I will go. I want to start off fresh again the next episode in New Winchester, actually. After all, I have port reports to deliver. Because through my folly, I forgot to pick up one, but I need money for supplies, given how I just picked up a rather sizable amount of romantic literature. Approved, presumably. I should check, in fact. It doesn't say if it's romantic or not, but it is ministry-approved literature, all the same. And indeed, the approval of the ministry is quite important in matters such as this. You were a nasty little ship to deal with. I have half a mind to explore this passage, and I think I shall, given how close I am, honestly. It bothers me that there is undiscovered territory. And if this should be my death, then, well, you shall know me for my folly, if anything. I will not be sending out the owl, however, as that would be a waste. Okay. Nothing here. Just a quiet little nook. Our supplies, they dwindle, and is that a Tackety, or is that a Marauder? Well, I guess we shall never know. But we plow on. Perhaps some riches will, well, welcome us here. Who knows? Just a quiet bit of final passage towards New Winchester. is all that's left for us this episode. As before, I think I'll do the call out for any subscribers, likes, and comments to be posted in the comments section below. If you do appreciate our content, feedback would be appreciated, and as before, it is somewhat lonely making these videos and not having someone to chat with them about. But we shall carry on. For the time being, I am still alright with this this series going forward as it is. It could be going a bit better and faster, but oh well. If only I hadn't turned on Iron Man mode. Save scumming would make this whole affair far, far easier. But that'll be a matter for another time. For as we pull into New Winchester, we have only to check the bazaar quickly. And in fact, very, very good. Nectar for Carillon and literature for Traitor's Wood. They need 5 gourds of the chorister stuff. All very good. In fact, that fills us up for prospects. So once we handle this, we can set about with the others. And now we only have to quickly check out the bank. Should we leave the approved literature behind for the time being? Or should we leave it on the ship and deliver it post-haste? My thinking is that first we check out that story. Specifically, exploring the city and searching for the amenable host's identity. A titan of industry, rare outside of Albion. The initial search is fruitless. People giggle at the antiquated fashion on display in the daguerreotype. The tilt of the jaw, the unfortunate arrangement of hair, but the proprietor of the round table seems to recognize the face. Oh yes, right sod he was. She holds up the locket to catch the falling starlight through a window. Wanted to open a factory here a few years back. Something went wrong and there was a workers' revolt. Not been seen since. No conclusive identity. But the plot thickens. And with that, just a quick top-up on fuel and supplies. Ooh. And that really does it for us. So I do think we have to take on the Ministry-approved literature. It is only proper to do so. And without further ado, this is where I'm calling the episode. Once again, it has been a pleasure reading through this game for you again. As stated before, leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscription, feedback, have a chat, do whatever. It does help course correct for me so that I don't have to flail about in the dark, not knowing what is amenable to the audience or not. And without further ado, I have been Smastian, and I will see you in the Sunless Skies.